Sometimes life gives you an abundance of ingredients. So right now, I'm in abundance of two things right now, and that is pork. We've got Berkshire pigs that we have been breaking down. I've got neighbors who've donated pork over to me. And, you know, I've got buckets and buckets of peppers. Different styles of peppers. I've got poblanos, I've got habaneros, I've got serranos, tabascos, pimentos, and of course, beautiful bell peppers. So what better way to celebrate all of this abundance than to make a new thing that I've never made before, and I'm super excited about it. Today, I am making a roasted pepper pork sausage. I have never made pork sausage before. I've definitely never done it without a recipe. So the recipe that I have is included in the comment section down below. So please make sure you check it out. This is inspired by a YouTube channel called Two Guys and a Cooler. I am an absolute fanboy of their YouTube channel. I've watched their sausage making videos, their dry curing meats, and I'm an absolute fan of what they do. And I couldn't help myself immediately when I realized I had all this extra pork butts that I wanted to do something. I wanted to make sausage. I wanted to do something out of the box. They have great recipes over there, by the way. I'm not trying to send you over to someone else's page, but they have great videos over there as well. So make sure after you finish this one up and maybe a couple more of my episodes, you go check out their channel as well. I do not know them personally. I have never had any communication, maybe a couple comments in their comment section, but you're gonna find great content out there. And ultimately, that's what I'm all about. I'm all about people finding amazing content. So let's get into the build of these amazing sausages.
We're going to begin by roasting off these peppers. The goal is that we are going to take off these skins. We're going to take the seeds out to make it a little less heat. Next is dicing up our cheese. This is a Pepperjack easy melt cheese. And so it's going to make it nice and creamy on the inside. It's going to be ooey, gooey, cheesy, and add just a little bit of heat. Next is our pork. This is a Berkshire pork, but I got this from my neighbor. Really excited to have it. And so I'm going to dice it up, and then I'm going to freeze this, pop it down in the freezer. We're going to get this about halfway frozen, and it's going to help it go through the meat grinder better for us. So nice, super easy. The spice mix recipe is too complicated to list out here, but it's going to be in the recipe down below. No worries. I got you. We're going to do pork casings. I got these from Bass Pro Shop, but I'm going to leave you a link down below. These are our roasted peppers. I have frozen them off. And our pork casings, again, I'm going to put a link down below for some great pork casings. You can also use lamb or beef. And so there's our pork butt. We're going to start running it through. Again, having it frozen really helps. It helps with the consistency. It helps it stay super cold. We don't want to break that fat down. We want that fat to stay solid. So to keep it solid, we got to keep it ice cold. So if you need to bring it out in waves, like I was getting pretty close. This meat here is actually probably a little more than halfway frozen. So it kind of gave me a benefit. But if I wasn't able to do that, I could bring it out in waves. And then once I grind it completely, I could put it back in the freezer so I could get it nice and cold again. This just helps keep the fat solid. Again, I don't want that fat to break down now. I want to break down on the grill and keep my sausage nice and juicy on the inside. It can really mess with the texture and the consistency of the inside, though. If it melts out now, might make it a little grainy on the inside. You're going to see me starting to add in the peppers, though. I am physically going to grind in these peppers. So these are poblanos, jalapenos, and bell peppers that have all been deliciously roasted off again. Again, I think that's just kind of a great way to incorporate that flavor. It's really going to just kind of round out all of that flavor, that spice mix that I added in.
Hey, by the way, if you're enjoying this content, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you want to get a behind the scenes look at what we do here at Homesteading Chef, click the link down below. You'll be able to, that'll direct you over to a webpage. That is my webpage, homesteadingchef.com. There you can sign up for our mail list, and there you can get amazing content, extra content, exclusive content for free, costs you nothing. And just as an added thank you, And again, it's only posted once a month. So again, I'm not going to be spam mailing you. It's just, again, if you're out there growing some amazing ingredients, this is the newsletter for you.
So you can kind of see another angle of me grinding off this pork. And again, we're just keeping we're keeping the meat grinder on high, running it through. Having it frozen, again, it just really helps it go through the meat grinder so much better. We're adding a couple chunks of ice that's going to help push out those last couple of pieces that kind of get lost in the mix there, like up inside the chamber of that meat grinder. That's also going to help us when we mix. It's going to help the ice is going to help the fat continue to stay solid. And now we're going to double grind. I changed the plate on the front of the grinder and to a finer mesh plate, and we're going to grind half of this on a second grind and run this through. This is going to kind of make a little bit finer consistency, act as a great binding agent. We also have potato starch that is that's in the mix as well, so that's also acting as a binder. So it's a great way to bind our sausage, make sure we have the right consistency on the inside. And see, there you go. Look, little great consistency. We're going to add in our spice mix. Kind of get that, incorporate as much as possible. Now, you could put all of this through a mixer and fine mix it until it is nice and tacky. We're going to add in our Pepperjack cheese. Again, that's that fine cubes that we did before. It's very important that we did that fine dice just so it mixes in very well and it goes into those casings really well without making those casings lumpy. We're going to mix. Again, a giant mixer would have made this so much better. Now it's time to cook one off. I always like to cook one or two little pieces off. I'm going to put it over into the skillet and kind of just cook it off real quick, and then I'm going to get my sous chef to come over and give it a taste. What we're looking for is the consistency, the spice level, kind of everything that goes into it. It's going to be a little bit different just because of that cheese, but I think this is a kind of a great way to give it a taste. And of course, I've got the best judge here. She's going to tell me exactly what she thinks.
All your kids will eat this. This is delicious. And I like that crispy. I'm going to keep doing it. It's really good.
So now it is time to stuff. She's given us the approval. Keep your casings down in the water. You'll see me actually put some of that water into the side of the casing itself. It helps it slide onto that little piece faster. It kind of acts like a lubricant, if you will. And so it just kind of helps slide that casing right up onto that tube. It makes our life so much easier. Now you got to do a rehydration with these. So you're going to have to, for 90 minutes, add hot water to them. They're packed in salt. You're going to rinse them off really, really well. Add lukewarm water to it for 90 minutes. And let that sit again for 90 minutes, and then drop that off and then put them back in another round of water after you've washed them for a minute. Now I'm going to tie off this very end, and then you didn't see it right there, but I grabbed the tack, and you could use a tack or a needle and kind of tack the end, because there's going to be this air pocket that forms there. So having a needle to kind of pop the very end there really helps. And so what we were trying to avoid is big air pockets. Now, one of the things I did do on this particular roll, and I don't mind showing it to you, is I'm overstuffing that sausage. So when you're going to see in a minute when I go to twist it, that I'm going to have one area to burst. And that happens. It's not a huge deal. You can kind of tie it off and just make it happen. But make sure that, it's tight and it's firm, but you're still leaving yourself room to, when you twist them off into links, that it's not going to completely bust off. But you're using your hand there to kind of guide it, and you kind of get the feel for it. You see me kind of working it with my hand, and then it just kind of slides in. But what I'm using my hand for is to keep the consistency right and making sure that I'm not overstuffing those sausages. So you see me starting to twist them off. So you roll it one direction, then you roll it into the next direction, and then you're going to roll it into the opposite direction. So you kind of keep going back and forth. You're going to see me have a blowout. I think it's on this next link. And again, it's not a big deal yet. You see it kind of burst right there. That's not a big deal. I'd rather show you my mistake and that I overfilled it. That was the only one that I had for all of the sausage. I made 20 pounds of sausage, and that's the only blew out that I had. So again, it's just kind of learning that consistency. You kind of do that on the first one. It kind of happens. And then from there, I'll show you how to make another one. But we're also going to go through and we're going to hit it with that needle. We're going to go through and pop all the different air bubbles and everything on that sausage. And that's going to keep the air and the oxidization off of that sausage and helps it stay fresh.
It's officially time for the taste test. Super excited. Now, there is something that I'm noticing immediately out the gate, and that's kind of the cheese run a little bit. I used a Pepperjack. It's kind of like an easy melt. I really kind of wanted an ooey gooey cheese. I probably need to go with a higher temp cheese, kind of melt it out. Now I'm wondering how that translates into this. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a break. Oh, it looks pretty good on the inside, not too milky. It's almost like a pork version of a Philly cheesesteak inside of a sauce. See that Pepperjack come out a little bit? That's really good. I give that a 7 out of 10. I think the consistency is really good. The flavor is on point. I think I just need to change my cheese for next time. See how juicy that is, though? And I think that cheese probably helps it stay juicy, you know? That's so good. Could maybe go a little finer on the grind. But I think overall, that's good stuff. I'll take that. I look forward to grilling that out, flexing on some folks that I made my own sausage. What a fun time building this out. This was absolutely amazing. I have already eaten 3 links already just sitting here, and I can't wait for my friends to try these out. So look forward to that video where I get the reactions to people trying my sausage for the first time. Until next time, keep cooking on, homies. This is the Homesteading Chef, and I'm super glad that you're here. We'll see you next time.